Hey, it's G, Allastrology. Will. What is the degree of free will that we have in our lives? Just how much free will do we really have? And we debate this back and forth. You know, well, many times it's just a simple flat answer. Of course you have free will. And then I look at certain clients' charts, certain friends' charts, different people that I meet or come across, just, clients. And it's amazing to me when I look at their charts and as I'm understanding it, as it's unfolding, as it's telling its story to me, I'm realizing, oh my God, I don't know if I would want to be in this life with that chart. It looks as though they're bound in certain ways. So I came across some numbers that I find absolutely fascinating. And I don't even know if you're going to be able to see this or not, but I hope so. I picked black. I know if someone in particular watches me do this video and they see it, they're not going to be happy with me. Okay, so yeah, awesome. It looks like you can see it. Now, this is a topic that we could probably spend all day on, but we always don't have all day to watch a video, nor do I have all day to sit in this position. Anyway, so what we're going to do, what I want to do, is, I don't know if this is fact or crap. There's a part of this that rings true to me, and it's something I have known this for a long time, I'm going to be honest with you, but I've never had actual numbers and digits applied to this theory. And if anybody's ever watched my videos or talked to me, I'm always talking about degrees of freedom, right? I talk about an astrological chart in terms of, yeah, that's Zoe, I'm sorry. I always talk about the astrological chart itself in terms of our degrees of freedom, right? We look at the chart and we're like, wow, look at all that. And then you could even say, by looking at all of that, you could say, well, this house here is really big. So a lot of me is that house, right? Obviously, the majority of my life is going to be in these bigger houses. So that's a pretty logical, rational way to look at that. Now, one thing we know about astrology is that it's compounded layers of energy. Okay, it's never as simple as, okay, I just need to know what this means and that's what this means here. We know that's not true. We know that we got to first understand what this means. And then in relation to what that means, we have to figure out what kind of conversation it's having with this up here, and then what kind of conversation it's having with this over here, right? And what kind of conversation it's having with something that's opposing it. Hello, Zoe. Yes, you can join us, but I want you to sit in a safe spot. Okay. Now, I have numbers written down. I'm going to get to these numbers, but before I go any further, I'm going to write across from these my theory. And it's not really, like I said, just my theory. It's something I've come across, and it may explain, it may clear up a lot of things in other people's lives, especially if you're a follower of astrology and if you can read your own chart. If not, this is all astrology. We do free charts. Go down below, comment your birth info. We'll hook you up. Hit the bell. When you hit that bell, you are notified when your video is ready for you to being. We know that we're more than just a physical being, right? We know there's this essence of our spirit involved. We know that there's our mental and our emotional capacity involved, right? We know there's our soul, right? So we have all these different aspects of our being that come into role and who make up who we are. And it's complex. Here I have written down 25%, 35%, 25%, 37.5, and another 37.5. Now, I just realized I do not have my microphone or anything. So what I'm going to do is I might have to redo this video. Gorsh. Let's just press stop real quick.
Okay, so sun, moon, and ascendant. So what we want to do is we want to apply whether the sun, moon, or ascendant, where those three big things belong. Those are the three most vital things in an astrological chart. I don't want to go too in depth, but first thing I'm going to do is down here, I'm going to put down can you see that? Okay. Yeah. I'm not good on rocky ground here. And then we've got our okay. You see what I have written there? We've got, this is the sun, 25%, ascendant, 37.5%, moon, 37.5%. Is this wild? Is this absolutely wild? Maybe not. Maybe it means nothing to you. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you the connections, okay? Think of the sun, okay? The sun is your intellect. It is your ability, I got to move. Okay, it's your ability to think. It's your ability, it's your consciousness. It's your mentality. It's you knowing you are alive. It's your ability to say, I am. It's your consciousness. You're aware of another and you're aware of yourself. You're aware of the degrees of yourself, okay? It is where you express your free will. The sun is not only our thoughts, but our ability, because it represents our free will. It is our ability to choose our thoughts. The sun is our divine spark of the right now, the here and the right now. That is our sun. That is our vitality. That is our life. Okay? Within our sun, it is that ability to choose what we think about, to choose what we want to make manifest. The next is the ascendant. The ascendant is our physical world. The here, now, physically, not mentally. You know how you could be physically in one place, but your mind can be somewhere else, right? We all know about that all too well. I could be sitting right next to you and be nowhere near you. So the ascendant is your physical body. When astrologers do predictions, they base it mostly, the accurate predictions come about on the physical plane, that is, when they're talking about, okay, the tangible, physical, material world, it's based off the ascendant, okay? The moon. What's the moon? Our emotional world, okay? The moon is also our past. The moon is our memories. The moon is reflection, okay? The moon is also the astral body, okay? It's our emotional body. So I want you to try to really embrace this and think about this. This is for seekers of truth, this video, obviously. Okay, this isn't about, hey, I'm busy telling you what's going to be happening to you in a week or two from now. But it's more of how can you start to do these things for yourself? How can you begin to better understand this experience that we're in, this role that we're playing that we call life, okay? If we can control our thoughts, right? That's the sun. That's our willpower. That's where our free will exists. And it's only at 25%. Now, I will argue that some people's charts, this is not going to be clear-cut, black and white. Because in some people's charts, their sun signs are going to be in a more powerful place than others, right? If you're a sun sign and if it's in a fire sign, it's going to be well placed. The sun loves the fire. The sun is the fire. The sun is the ruler of the sign Leo, right? So if you happen to be a Leo sun sign, that's spectacular, but you could also happen to be a sun sign in Aries. You could happen to be a sun sign in Sagittarius. So it's well placed. I have a sun sign, but my sun sign's not in a fire sign. It's in an earth sign. So some of us have places that our sun is in the sign that they're in, where the sun is called exalted, where that placement is exalted. It is operating at a high level, and it is very strong there. It's a great beneficial place. Some not so much. So for some people, I believe, of course, depending upon the entire chart, a lot of these can change. But the whole point of all breaking this down is that our emotions, the moon, 37.5%. This is what we feel. Can we choose who we like? Can we choose who we're attracted to? No, we can't. Can we choose that which we desire? Not unless we choose to renounce desire altogether, right? Buddhist teaching. Our ascendant, our physical world. Now, that's a big one. Can we control the family that we were born into? Hell no. Not in this life. Not in this life. Once you're born, you're born. You're here. This is the family you're surrounded by, whether you have a family or not. You know, some people grow up, they have no mother or father, they have no siblings. So the physical world you're born into, once you're incarnated, once you're in that body, it's a done deal, isn't it? Yeah, it's a done deal. And that's 37.5%. So it's that question about, wow, how much control do I ultimately really have in my life? And this is not to be depressing in any way, shape, or form. But what it's to point out is that if you understand that 25% of your free will, 25% of who you are is literally your willpower. And by your willpower, you choose what to think, because this is also our intellect. And this is kind of giving another spin on positive thinking and how you can make manifest that which you desire by your thoughts, by how you think. We have free will, and it's working at 25%. And if we understand that that is our ability to express, our ability to create, and then we combine it, we understand that our thoughts can literally create things by affecting our emotions. So if we understand, because maybe some people will think, well, it doesn't necessarily work that way. Sometimes the thoughts actually do the exact opposite. The emotions sometimes take over. But what is the moon? The moon is a mirror, right? The moon is a mirror. What does the moon reflect? The sun's light, right? Therefore, whatever you're emitting, however you choose to use your light, whatever you choose to focus on with your thoughts, this is going to reflect that. The moon is a reflector. So when you add those two numbers together, yeah, I had to do the math ahead of time. When you do these two numbers together, the moon and the sun, because they're eventually, most definitely, become one. We understand they become one. That's, what you think is what you are, is what you become. It comes to 62.5%. So the 62.5% now of your desire, of what you will, of what you want to create, what you want to make manifest, totally overrides that 37.5%. You see? So use your free will. Use it. We become alchemists because we are bending the material and the tangible. And that's what alchemy is. It's about changing an element, changing, lead into gold, right? Because it's a manipulation on the material plane. Charts have a way of balancing themselves out. And I see that in plenty of charts, even the hardest of ones, where energy changes. And so nothing is a guarantee to stay that way forever. So we're very fortunate. We're very blessed on that sense, and it's a matter of seeing those blessings, seeing the bigger picture, and as always, understanding that everything is all astrology. And when we get that, we have a higher perspective and a truer idea that I am not confined to just simply, my chart and the planets that are in the chart and the locations, right? Like this person's chart is just, they've got planets, but the planets are strictly only like here and here, and then some here, right? And there's a lot of emptiness, right? Well, it's not true. Nothing is empty. There are planets in these houses. Some call them hidden planets. That's another video for another time. And on that note, I'm going to end this. Thank you.